Okay, here we are. Well, the timer. This is a project that started more than a year ago. Finally, this is starting to have real and reachable results. I work for La Oficina Producciones Culturales, which is a little no-government organization here in the Almería city in Andalusia, Spain. This is important, the place you see later. We have introduced, we have created this concept of the very small GLAM as an idea to attend the needs of very, very smaller groups, teams, entities, formal or informal, that are working with museology in some way, keeping collections, etc., and trying to offer the best tools and methodologies and practices to be able to do real museology, academic museology, if you want, as cheap and faster as possible. So we choose this arbitrary number of 5 members. This is inspired on other standards out there. The good thing is we are developing this experimentally while creating our prototype for a cinema digital documentation center of Almería. And I'll talk a little bit about this. You will find more information in Meta, and there are a lot of tickets in Fabricator related with this. Why this documentation center? Well, this is because the Almería province, maybe you never heard about it, but you saw it dozens, hundreds of times in movies, in TV spots, musical videos, etc. from since the 60s. So this is not Hollywood, but it has been used for hundreds of production, and now we are trying to keep an inventory of documentation of testimony, etc., to do academic research and support to the local industry about this. So we need a multimedia system. We choose to do to make a knowledge graph, and the obvious product for us was Wikibase. Well, how we characterize this focus of the very small GLAM? Well, this is a self-assessment using the charter model. This is what is expected to for GLAM institutions. Obviously, if we are looking for a very small one, they don't are able to fulfill all the scope of other institutions. So there are some specifics. And our user base is the GLAM community, but with the open with an open door and deep interaction with the GLAM wiki and the open GLAM, the open content, as you are familiar. You probably are finding that this talk should have been in Lisbon right now in the GLAM wiki, but it wasn't accepted. So thank you very much, Wikidata.com, for accepting this this talk, because I'm very proud. I'm very proud of this. This is structured in 5 working products. I'll explain a little bit. Well, one problem of this project is it has very different dimensions in the sense of domain problems. Part is IT system, part is the Wikibase platform itself and MediaWiki ecosystem, the ontology theme, etc. And they are orthogonal between them. So I have very few external help, and it has been not so productive as I expected. so the practical result took so long. But well, we try. At least we have a good interaction with the Wikibase Suite and development team, for example, and people with Wikimedia Deutschland, and this helped a lot. Well, from the IT system, why this is important? Because people need to be able to buy a cheap system as possible, but you need to do data preservation with high quality. You need to be able to invest in the long time, in the long future, as cheap as possible. And some crazy people out there invented the concept of NAS killer. Instead of spending 3,000 euros in a good server, beautiful, high quality, etc., you can choose another strategy with refurbished enterprise equipment that was very expensive at the time, but now you can get for free or very, very, very cheap. But you need to know which kind of hardware you need to buy. In this case, an enterprise computer, a small company, a small, small enterprise server, ECC runs. If you want to do that good data preservation, you need to do data preservation on your memory, on your system memory. And a key component are refurbished hard disks, enterprise hard disks. Particular is in the Western Digital Ultrastar or Helium range, which is exceptional. I am doing advertising here, but if you check comparatives, the difference of quality is tremendous. And you can buy refurbished one by a third or less of the original price, and still having a very, very good product. And how to be sure you are doing data preservation well? Having a very good file system, ZFS, which lets you, it's better than write because it can do self-healing. And you can have a very cheap system with very high standards of data preservation quality, data preservation quality. We have a current prototype. It costs less than 400 euros. This is just the configuration. And we choose the Unraid operating system, which is a Linux system. It's a paid one. It's not very expensive, but it has some good things like the docker support, and especially the ZFS file system. And we are using the Wikibase Suite deploy, now 5.01 version. Next, we need our own Wikibase Suite configuration. This is important because this is, we need multimedia support. Currently, the team doesn't offer so much feature because they are conservative in the sense they want a very well tested product. So I understand, but on the other hand, we have the potential of a lot of extension in the MediaWiki ecosystem, but are available, and we are using. In this case, we need to have our own server and not to use Wikibase Cloud or an equivalent instance, because we need to host our own multimedia, because we are not able to publish for free at Wikimedia Commons, for example. So it's a must to have our own server and running in a local LAN, which is more problematic because Wikibase is the same effort is, and it take me a lot of time just to figure out how to have a LAN auto configuration. And now this is working. There very small increments, but at least they were, and I'm happy. You can see the Planet architecture, but the current one, which is a more modest. It will take time. This is the most, everything is fun here, but this is very interesting, and this is my latest developments. This is based on Cydoc CRM. This is a very big conceptual reference model from the ICOM, the International Council of Museums. It it's a bit weird if you are very used to Wikidata, because it's a lot of the couplet, the couplet, the concept, and still I need to figure out if we need to maybe modify how to adapt it and how to use it in Wikibase to not to annoy the user. Remember, we are trying to attend users with very few resources of time, money, whatever. So the less they need to learn, the better. And the good thing of having Wikibase, you have the editor and the explorer and the query all in the same product. If we made the editing so complex because you need to create many entities just for one entry, it will be complicated for the user. This is a math. This is being adopted. It's being adopted everywhere. Museo del Prado, for example, a lot of institutions out there. The Getty software from museums also is using this. So this is a standard, and it's complex, but seems to be the place to be. But it needs to be a standard, and it is being a standard also in the CRM community itself. For our case, we are doing oral interviews, recordings, so we need to extend with this vocabulary. Is published by a research community. And there are some other extensions of the vocabulary, etc., that we need to have just our product. We are prototyping the concept with our product because we are using this, and we need to populate it as soon as possible to start have real work. And at this moment, we have a version. We'll see a little more about this. This you can check this in the link in the slides. And I'm developing sandbox in Wikibase Cloud, as we are able to, for first time, I think, to implement the full side of CRM from the official old expression in Wikibase. There are other projects with previous experience here in Luxembourg, in Germany, etc. But with this approach, exactly, I think is the first. But it's a prototype. We need to see. I need to learn a lot of things just to be able to do this. And probably there are a lot of things to fix and to enhance. There are another working group for practices. The idea was to try to package knowledge in some kind of way of a meta model, ontology, etc., to model and express practices, how to, etc. The knowledge of how to do this thing on museology or whatever. What will be an excellent will have an excellent complement the technology from the ASA Wikipedia and Wikifacts, etc. If this were available, but sadly I have no advanced on this thing. It was one of my personal main interests, but it was impossible. And now about the data import working package, I have very fresh results last week. With some people, we made this Wikibase bootstrap set of properties for this case of you create a Wikibase instance and it's blank, it's empty. So we identify what we believe are the essential minimal 8 properties that you have you need to have to start to work. If you don't have a clear plan or etc., or you have a very clear ontology, if you want to start to play or just have improvising, but in a structured way, we made this. And I used this effort also to work on my tool, which are derived, are based in the previous work of the NFDI for Culture group, which are doing an amazing, a very similar thing, using Wikibase also for a heritage information, but in a very big project with a very well funded, etc. So thank you very much for them, because they helped me a lot. So I was be able to make this workflow, this tooling, and now I I have just published a first release of the on ontology, just adapted for Wikibase, and the tool for create your Wikibase and populate with the CytoCRM ontology. As in the sandbox I told you before. This is in active development, and in the coming weeks, I'll extend this with the vocabularies I told you before. Other results, all with all the things I've learned, I was be able to contribute to the DHWiki working group, which is a DARIA, that is a European Consortium for Research and Infrastructure Consortium for Research. And we have a working group, and our focus are digital humanities using Wikibase and Wikidata. More or less is this. And for the next years, expected to have published a white paper in which we are doing recommendations, etc. And in our case of the Benjamin Blanc, we are translating our experience in the good part, the lesson learned, and requirements. Our requirement we think we need to fulfill for the digital humanities, but it's practically the same case for any other discipline. And that's all.